We have made it to the first week of August, and the question is, what are the best stocks to invest in right now? Because every single month, the board does change. There are new tariffs, there are new laws, and the situation is different than what it was last month or last quarter. So given all that, what are the best stocks, and more importantly, why do I think they are the best stocks? I'm going to give you a quick case for each one of these. A few of them we have talked about before, and there are some new entries on this list. So let's go ahead and break it down. The first one is one entry that we've talked about probably once before, but it is still very, very good, and that is GE. Up 35% in the last 6 months at the time that we are doing this recording, and up 72% in the last year. I had to put a star by this one, and that is because it does have insider buyers. For those that don't know what insider buyers is, that means that there are people on the inside that have been buying this stock within the last 3 months. The two metrics that I track for this one is the last 3 months or the last 12 months. When I see more buyers than sellers, that is a very good sign, meaning that whether it's the CEO, some of the board of directors, they're buying for a reason. There's only one reason why people would buy. That's because they think the stock is going to go up. You can sell for a lot of reasons. I say it all the time. There's only one reason as to why you would buy. And again, when a stock is up 72% in a year and 35% in just the last 6 months, that is a very, very good sign. And we would hope that that does continue. They're also in the aerospace category, just like Honeywell. That is also doing quite well, but it's not on this list. That's a category. I'm telling y'all, aerospace has been quite good so far this year. I have been on that spot, okay? I don't know how many other people have been on that spot, but aerospace has been quite good so far. And from December to now, aerospace is one of those spots. So GE is the first one on our list. Shout out to y'all who brought it to my attention first. Fastenal is on the list. Now, Fastenal is an old school stock for us. Okay, I probably brought this one up, feels like 2022 or 2021, and it ain't been on the list since. That was the last time I remember the stock being good, but it is good once more. Up 29% in the last 6 months, up 34% over the last year. Now they are, I would put them in the industrial category, and what I like most about them, other than their performance, yes, that is what we are here for, they have good institutional ownership. Institutional ownership is large companies, 401ks, things like that, big, slow-moving money that owns this company. And the reason why that is good is because, again, these are multi-billion-dollar funds that don't move quickly, which means that once they are buying and holding, which usually means that the company is going to stay stable and they don't make decisions, again, very quickly. It's kind of hard to steer that ship. Something like individual investors, right? We can be spooked. Right, that's why you see a lot of penny stocks very, very quickly. I guess I'm using the word very and vary with an A, not all that well, but you guys get the point. It can be volatile. It's a better word for it. I'll start with V's. But in the case, something that has institutional ownership is usually quite stable. And in this case, it's doing quite well, and it should be quite stable moving forward, at least for the foreseeable future, which for me is 6 months to a year, which seems to have been the case over the last 6 months and a year. So I like that. The fact that it's in the industrial category helps to diversify the list just a bit. I think it's always easy to just pick a whole bunch of tech stocks. So having GE, having Fastenal, I think kind of diversifies that just a bit, which I do enjoy having. Next on the list is one of those I told you so moments, and that is eBay. eBay is up 38% in the last 6 months and up 66% over last year. eBay has been peppered into these lists, I would say maybe 3 or 4 times this year, and this is a stock that I do own because I did tell y'all, okay, when I bought eBay and why I bought eBay at that time. And at this point, right, 8 months into the year, you have seen the results of how eBay has performed. I would expect eBay to continue to do well, and for this reason, tariffs. The expectation, that doesn't mean it's going to be reality, but the expectation is obviously tariffs are going to raise prices, and I think we've already started to see that. But more importantly, for the holiday season, we don't expect to see the exact same amount of inventory. Even the president said himself that you may not get $9 or $10, you're only going to get $1. Well, what about the people that are on eBay that have collectibles, that have lightly used items that they're trying to get rid of to make more money because jobs aren't as plentiful as they used to be. So I can get rid of stuff that I'm not using, right? So there is no tariff there because it's already used. I've already paid for it, right? So that's one way, and especially if it's domestic, so that's something too. And I can pay less for something as well. In some cases, not all. So that could be a way for eBay to continue to do well and continue to get people on their platform. They're also kind of experimenting with AI and their suggestion platform and tools in that area too. So I expect them to continue to do well, and I'm very, very curious as to what their reporting is going to say and what their usage and all that kind of stuff is going to say in January after the holiday season. Because again, I'm real curious to see how people are going to be creative to save money this holiday season, because I don't expect to see record-breaking numbers that we saw last year and the year before that. We'll see. I in one way, I want to see people break numbers because that means that people have money and everything's fine, right? I don't want people to go into debt, but I want people to have those resources. But I don't think it's there, just based on what we have been seeing and what people have been feeling. So we'll see. I think eBay is a way to kind of save a little bit on that by buying lightly used things and bargaining for things and auctioning for things as well. Then we have DoorDash. DoorDash is probably the youngest company, I'm pretty sure by a mile, probably the youngest company, up 34% in the last 6 months, up 118% over the last year. They have new revenue streams. That is the main thing for DoorDash. That is why they are doing well, and it is something I guess was understated. I think the main thing DoorDash is known for is adding the kind of paying for Klarna system or whatever it is they call it, where if you can't pay for your big burrito today, you can split it in 4 payments, which I don't think is great. And that kind of goes to my eBay point, is holiday shopping is going to be rough if we have to put a burrito on layaway, essentially. So, it's kind of contradictory in those two things, but you guys get the point here. DoorDash is opening up those revenue streams in that they don't just do meals anymore. They also do grocery, convenience stores, and things like that. There's been times where, hey, I don't have a phone charger, I'm in a new city or something like that, and I can get batteries, again, phone chargers, toothbrush, toothpaste, all other types of stuff that DoorDash didn't always used to do. And they've been creative in how they can deliver different types of things and bring in, again, new revenue, which has been something that investors want. We always want a way to grow revenue and find new income streams. And that is something that is always exciting as an investor. And because they are relatively new, they have more places to grow. A problem with some of these larger companies is, all right, you're big, you're on every corner, where the money gonna come from now? Like a McDonald's, right? You can't grow anymore, and we need to see more money from somewhere. DoorDash doesn't have that issue, which is why they're up so big, especially within the last year. Then, talking about a company that is so big and is still growing, that's Microsoft. Now, the reason why is because they do have a new avenue, and that is AI. And they are perhaps the best company, the best large company at AI, in my estimation. They're up 30% in the last 6 months and up 31% over the last year. Now, that doesn't sound, in comparison to DoorDash, the greatest performances in the world, but if I'm comparing it to an Alphabet, aka Google, which I don't know if I'm the last person to still call them Google, but it is what it is. Maybe I'm old, and especially comparing it to an Apple, they have definitely adopted it and have been perhaps a bit better at advertising themselves, at using it and partnering with the ChatGPT than the other two. I think, and I hate to say it, but Bing might be getting better as a search engine than Google. I can do a different rant there, but I think most people are getting to the point where Google search, just the search results that you're getting, isn't as good as what it used to, and the results that you're getting aren't really relevant anymore for a ton of different reasons, and Bing might be, catching up. So we'll see. Some people are going to argue with me and say it was always better. I don't know about that. But in either case, Microsoft is, I think, one of the top 5 companies, or one of the first 5 companies to hit $3 trillion in value, and they still on the way. I said many years ago that my all-time favorite stock is Microsoft, and thankfully they are still holding that banner. I've been losing faith losing faith quickly in Apple because they have not innovated, and Microsoft is continuously innovating, adding new systems, and being prudent about adding things in the right way, or Apple just hasn't been doing that at all. So we'll see what Apple's going to do, but Microsoft is one I still think is worth investing in a time like this in August 2025. However, these are just stocks that are growth oriented. Not all of these pay dividends. If you're looking for some stocks or some ETFs that add dividends to your portfolio, then you want to check out this video right here.